Hey everyone, so I wanted to share my journey with preparing for the GMAT and the routes that I had been taking and the role that Target Test Prep did to help me with that. So my background, I've been out of school for about 3 years now, so I'm not fresh out of school. Got started in the financial services industry. I work as a senior retirement consultant for a company and really wanted to go to business school to further my career. And knowing that the GMAT was going to be an essential portion of this, I actually started preparing back in, about 2 years ago, and started with the test prep company that I had just found online. Really without doing too much research, I didn't find success with that test prep company. As I was going through it, I noticed that I really wasn't improving when I was taking the practice questions through that company. And so I put it on pause, just focusing on work mainly until the next year. And then I decided to try a test prep company through the school that I wanted to go to, a local school. Having done that for 2 months, and I'd found zero improvement. A little bit of improvement on the quant sections, but the overall score did not improve. My first practice test was a 535, is what I had achieved, and really my only strong suit was the verbal sections. That part I didn't really need to worry about, but the data insights and quant were weaknesses. And so I had been following a YouTuber. He was talking about just different careers in the finance industry, and he had gone through business school, and he recommended Target Test Prep, so I wanted to give them a shot. Signed up in June, and knew that I only had a limited number of hours that I could put toward this, having a family, having a career. Probably was able to put about 1 hour a day into it, and really wasn't trying to get ultimately like the highest score, but I did need to get the score I needed to for the school I wanted to get into with the time that I had. And so I started this focusing solely on the quant section. Okay. And I had gone through first, before I did the quant section, what I really liked is they had a strategy section for preparation, which is something the other test prep companies didn't have. That was key for me because I actually kind of had the strategy going this time and working through these things. And I was being a little more strategic in my preparation. So I would go through each module, really make sure that on the weakness on my sections that were weak, that I would go through and redo those. And I really liked the analytics that were behind the questions and the answers to identify the weaknesses that Target Test Prep had. That was unique compared to what I had experienced as well. Helped me to get where I needed to on the quant section faster and more efficiently. So ultimately, I just kind of spent 1 hour a day, a little more than that, for about 4 months, and was able to go in and get a 645, which is what I needed for what I was trying to do. And the difference to me that Target Test Prep that I found was the biggest thing was the strategy sections for preparation and the strategy sections for the test taking. I found to be extremely helpful as well as I started taking those practice tests to improve my scores. That's something that other test prep companies I feel like lacked. And in addition to that, the analytics that they had and determining the weaknesses, finding out where you're wrong is a good benefit as well. So that was my journey using Target Test Prep. And one advice that I would have to those who are taking the GMAT is to not just put in the time, but to develop the strategy behind it in the preparation and having the strategy on test prep day. And I feel like Target Test Prep company does that extremely well. And that was one of the biggest things that they had that helped me, in addition to their high reputation for the quant section as well. Able to see a lot of good reviews with how straightforward and how well they put that together. And in summary, this is something that I feel like I needed to get knocked out to reach a certain score that I needed to during this time of my life. And, hadn't had success in the past, but came across Target Test Prep company, and they did help me get to where I needed to be. And, if I were to do it again, I would just use them straight away. Would have not gone any other route except to start with them. And that's my journey.